Hello there. This is James, and you're watching OneRoyal, and it's live. In today's program, I want to talk about Trump's beautiful or big, beautiful bill. She's calling it his new tax bill, and what the implications of that bill, if it becomes law, to the market and indeed to the US economy. As well as that, I want to talk about a latest negotiation tactic done by the EU with the US over trade deals, and and who is the prettiest asset in the market right now. But before we get into all of that, don't forget these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out the way, let's get started. So, yes, let's first of all talk about this big, beautiful bill. Because today, the House passed Trump's new tax bill, which basically means we are one step closer to this new tax bill becoming law. But it wasn't so straightforward. As you know, over the last couple of days, there's been serious debates about this bill, right, long through into the night, long hours. And in fact, the vote was won, or the bill was won by one vote. So you can see how delicate or touchy this bill is, because the vote came in 215 to yes, 214 saying no. Now, this tax bill will offer a number of tax cuts. You know, the idea to, inject steroids to the economy. In this bill, Trump will keep to the commitment of saying no taxes on tips and no taxes on overtime pay, as well as generally reduce tax on the middle class and raise the tax back to around about 39% on those who earn over 2.5 million. However, this plan will also, in many analysts' opinion, raise the nation's debt by 4 trillion. 4 trillion. Plus, the analysis also think, or analysis by the CBO, stated this bill will mean the bottom 10% of American households' resources will be reduced by 4% due to cuts in Medicare and food aid. And the flip side of that, as well as that, the top 10% of Americans, that's in the 10% richest Americans, will see their resources increase by 2%. So if we have a quick look at the general synopsis of this new bill, as you can see, there's going to be a lot of cuts in Medicare, okay, and a lot of cuts in sort of household food fares and things like that, with increased spending in areas like the military. So in general, this is going to add, they believe, within the next 5 years or up until 2029, when Trump, of course, leaves office, will increase the debt by around 4 trillion. Now, how's the market reaction to this? Well, it's been quite subdued, to be honest, but the bond market yields have risen. So the bond market is not doing so well because of this, because obviously, they're very conscious of the debt or the budget deficit increasing. So it means it's going to obviously, have to give people more interest to get them to let them borrow, for you to borrow their money. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's basically been the impact on the market is the bonds. The rest of the market is a little bit subdued on it. It's not either really celebrating or really sort of declining in any way. It's quite tepid, so to speak. And there is another reason for this as well, because many people think, okay, you know, this tax bill will sort of stabilize things a little bit at the moment with all the concerns, of course, with tariffs and prices going up. So this tax cut will allow consumers to have a little bit more extra money in their pocket to pay for more goods, which are going to be more expensive now. So balance thing. But again, there's no hiding away from the fact that this is going to increase the ever-growing US debt. You know, and Jamie, this is Jamie Dimon from obviously the CEO of JP Morgan. He thinks the deficit will be large and probably growing because of this. And don't forget, only on Monday, Moody downgraded US credit rating from AAA to AA1. Why? Because of their mounting national debt. So this is just going to add to it. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the market, see how the market isn't generally reacting at the moment. So let's have a quick look. So start off with the S&P, which has now obviously been open for the last, excuse me, needed a bit of coffee there, open for the last nearly 45 minutes. Like I said, you know, this tax bill realistically has not had a gigantic, you know, movement on the market. I mean, the market was more worried in particular of obviously what Moody's downgraded them on Monday, downgraded the US credit rating on Monday. Of course, this is just going to add to it. And as you can see, it's pretty tepid. It's only up slightly by 0.32%. This is the S&P 500. For the day, though, like I say, you know, it got under pressure because the Moody's downgrading the US credit rating. But like I say, on the day, it's slightly got gains. If we have a look at the NASDAQ as well, same story as well. Very little reaction on that. Hi, hello there. How you doing? I hope you're well. I hope you're having a really good day. Thank you for saying hi to me. It's nice to, yeah, because don't forget, it's a live show, guys, ladies and gents. So, of course, you can ask questions, you know, say hi, or more importantly, share your opinions on what you think is going on in the market, things like that. So that's the point of doing a live show. But nice to meet you. NASDAQ is pretty much the same. If we look at the Dow Jones as well, national average, tepid again, very subdued, up by 121 points today, 0.28%. And again, you can see that really with the tech market as well. Tesla, Meta, very tepid because that really the market is ignoring it. But like I say, the bond market is where it's really at. Say hi. Hello there. Hi, nice to meet you. Really nice to meet you. So it is fairly tepid. I want to move on to another story, which is occurring in the market as well. Remember, we've been talking about this for a good couple of broadcasts now, and that is the EU. I'm like, you know, EU, European Union. Has gone to the US with a new trade deal. Okay, the idea is they're trying to sweeten this trade deal by doing part of this new deal free tariffs or no tariffs whatsoever on US lobster imports. They're hoping to like tempt them because, of course, don't forget they're getting close. We're getting close to the 90 days delay expiry, which is the 9th of July. We're getting close to that. And as well as that, don't forget the EU is also preparing its own 108 billion retaliatory tariffs of its own on the US if talks fail. So they are preparing that as well. So again, this is again more of a story about are we getting anywhere closer to seeing actual trade deals happening? But at the moment, I want to trade. Very nice to meet you. I hope you're good. Okay, I mean, like I say, I hope you've got some education. You understand trading. This is what we're here for. We're here to offer education, obviously, and help people with that. But nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you. Thank you for saying hi. So yeah, so obviously the EU, again, this is another part of the story, the trade deals, you know, because here's the thing which bothers me. Here's the thing what bothers me. Other than the UK, which again is not signed on the dotted paper, we haven't seen any trade deals yet. Can you tell us how to trim a beard? You're referring to my beard. I have a beard trimmer, and sometimes I'm able to trim it. Do you like my beard? Nice to meet you. I like that comment. Tell us how to trim a beard. Yeah, well, yeah. I have good days. I have bad days, like we all do, I guess. Yeah, that's tickled me. That. Yeah. So my point being is with this is that apart from the UK, you know, we haven't seen any trade deals or anything at all. Yeah, and like I say, the 90-day delay is slowly, expiring. Is slowly expiring. 9th of July, reciprocal tariffs go back into place. Don't forget. We've had maybe a little bit of a truce with China and the US, but like I said yesterday, that's looking really fragile and really, really, really delicate. So that's no deal yet. And now, obviously, Trump keeps saying we've got 100 and so countries wanting to make a deal. We haven't seen anything yet. Japan's negotiations started, but that seems to have fallen through. So EU is another major one. So again, you can see EU is trying to be proactive here and offer lobsters as a sweetener to try and get a trade deal over, because otherwise it's going to be, it's going to be brutal. Anyway, I want to move on to something else, a different story today. A story about the prettiest asset in the market today. And that is right. The most prettiest asset in the market today is indeed Bitcoin. Because again, Bitcoin today has hit a new all-time high of $111,800. I mean, like I said, I remember, tail end of last year, it hit 100,000, but it hit a new all-time high of $111,800. Now, this move comes at a time when investors are looking for alternative assets, because obviously a lot of assets have been under pressure. They're selling a fair bit, and it's tepid today. But at the same time, this is coming on the back of hope about regulation, because the Senate voted on Monday to advance a bill that establishes a regulatory framework for stable coins like Bitcoin. And as well as that, of course, is that Jamie Dimon, CEO, who hated Bitcoin, did not like Bitcoin, was, almost anti-Bitcoin, very suspect of Bitcoin. He has said that JP Morgan Chase will now start allowing clients to buy Bitcoin. So what does that mean? For one, well, the reason why Bitcoin is so attractive at the moment is we're looking for alternative investments to what's going on, all the uncertainty. B, regulation looks like to get a bit slightly loosening and making it easier. And another major bank has accepted it, which means it's legitimate now. It's really becoming legitimate. That is why Bitcoin is doing so well. But let's have a quick look at Bitcoin, where the market is at the moment. So like I say, again, hit another all-time high today. Okay, hit 111,000. Currently trading at 110,789, slightly under that number. But as you can see, since Monday, it's been on a steady bull run, because obviously you have that vote in the Senate for regulatory purposes. So it's really enjoying that. But like I say, it's also being attractive because of investors looking for alternatives. So like I say, really 111,000 today. So still enjoying that bull run very much. While we're on Bitcoin, let's have a quick look at some of the other currencies as well. Give a bit of a currency update as well. Euro, dollar, again, we've had a week. I don't think dollar fell to a 2-week low yesterday. It is still struggling slightly with the euro, still trading around 112, 1.12 even. Sterling again, 134. So again, seen stronger sterling. And if you look at the dollar index, where have I put the dollar? There it is. It is still under 100. So we are still seeing a weaker greenback currently. And finally, it wouldn't be one of my broadcasts if we didn't have a quick look at gold. As we can see, gold is still, a bit down for the day, but still holding just under the $3,300 mark. But it's still very much trading above that potential trend line. Like I say, my only concern with gold is that this does look like a bit of a double top. But like I say, I've always been a bull in gold. I've always been bullish in gold. But like I say, it looks like a little bit of a double top. So that's my only concern, but it's holding above that trend line. And like I say, if we carry on with the uncertainty going on, which there is, I think the market's ignoring the uncertainty at the moment, to be open with you. But if we start thinking about uncertainty again, then obviously the safe haven status for gold will be well and truly re-established. Other data and things happening. Okay, economic-wise, data-wise, we've only really got UK retail sales due tomorrow, which is not going to be necessarily a potential big mover. It's really all going to be about Trump's tax bill, the development of that, and of course, any more tariff and trade stories. Don't forget, of course, you can talk to me anytime you wish. It is a live show. So you can say hi or, share with me your opinion, what you think. Or let me know what you trade. Are you a gold trader like me? Do you love gold like I do? Or are you a currency trader or are you a Bitcoin trader? How high do you think Bitcoin is going to go, for example? Do you think this is just the beginning for Bitcoin? Are we going to see it higher? Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. This is what it's all about. And like I say, if you are indeed watching me on, I still love that comment. Can you tell me how to trim a beard? I love that comment. I think that comment's great. And like I say, of course, if you're watching me on YouTube and you like this sort of content and you want to see it every day, because we do go live every day, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. And of course, if you quite like this type of content and you put up with me and you like my tips on how to trim a beard, by all means, give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what we do. Okie dokie. If there is no questions, not a problem. Not a problem. The other thing I want to mention as well, a lot of people I notice go back and watch the recordings, later. They miss the lives, which is great because I love all types of support. If you are watching a recording, it's not live, and you have a question in a comment, by all means, put a comment in. I will see it and I will answer that comment or that question next time I go live on air, which of course will be tomorrow because I'm alive every day. As well as that, one final thing I mentioned, if you're not part of the OneRoyal family and you wish to find out a bit more about us, by all means, go into the description and there's a link below, click on it and you can find out a bit more about who we are and what we do. There is that as well. Okie dokie. If there is no questions, not a problem. Leaves me to say then, in that case, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your research, do your due diligence, and of course, the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.